Welcome back to All Things Creepy. I'm your host, Micah James, and we are continuing the theme of creepypastas / urban legends. Don't worry, next episode we'll be deviating from that a little bit. Right off the bat, I do want to mention that I am focusing on the how to play and where it potentially came from rather than any real life cases that may have any relation to this game. If you know, you know. And I will touch on that thing a little bit later on. Anyways, we are gonna start with how to play. As far as the how to play, I do have two main sources, which I will be linking in the show description in case you're interested in it. I will be reading from both, and I'll let you know when I switch from one source to the other. But for the most part, they are very similar. The first kind of like rule book, I'll call it, is from urbanlegends.fandom.com. And I'm going to be reading directly from the website. Background information. The elevator game is a Korean ritual that involves traveling to another dimension. For this game, you need a building, at least one person, and an elevator. The game. If anyone else enters or leaves the elevator in the steps below, the ritual will be reset, so it would be better to do it at night. 1. Start at the first floor from inside the elevator. Once you get to the first floor, press the 4th button. Once you get to the 4th floor, press the 2nd floor. Once you get to the 2nd floor, press the 6th floor. Once you get to the 6th floor, press the 2nd floor. After you get to the 2nd floor, press the 10th floor. Once you get to the 10th floor, press the 5th floor button. If a woman enters the elevator at the 5th floor, do not look at her, do not speak, and don't talk to her. That woman is not a human. If you do, she will decide to keep you for her own. Once the woman gets in, press the 1st floor button. Do not proceed if someone enters the elevator or one of the players leaves the elevator. The elevator will either ascend or descend. If the elevator reaches the 1st floor, leave and do not look back. If the elevator reaches the 10th floor, leave and do not respond to the woman if she asks, "Where are you going?" or "What's wrong?" Her voice will be high when she asks that. If you are in the other world. 1. You're alone. 2. Electronics will not work. 3. The other world is identical to our world, but the two differences you will see are all the lights will be off and the only thing you will be able to see from the windows is a red cross in the distance. Returning to our world. To go back to our world, you must go to the same elevator and press the same buttons, only if you leave the 10th floor. 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5. When you reach the 5th floor, press the button for the 1st floor. The elevator will begin to ascend to the 10th floor. Press any other floor's button to cancel the ascension. You must press the button you use to cancel the ascension before you reach the 10th floor. After you reach the 1st floor, check your surroundings carefully. If anything seems off, even the smallest detail, do not exit the elevator. If you detect something wrong, repeat step 2 until your surroundings look as they should. Once you are confident you have returned to your own world, you may safely exit the elevator. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I'm using two different sources for the how to play is because, one, this is the one that I initially read, how to play the elevator game. And 2, it's a little very bare bones, I guess you could say. So we are going to read the second source. Again, both will be linked in the show description. This one goes into a little more detail in case you want it, the more detailed version. Players. 1 principle. No more, no less. Requirements. A building at least 10 stories high and equipped with an elevator capable of reaching all 10 floors. Instructions. Venturing out. Begin at any time. Enter your chosen building and proceed directly to the elevator. 3. Call the elevator. Use only the up button to do so. If a down button is present, do not touch it. 4. When the doors open, enter the elevator. You must enter it on the 1st floor, and you must enter it alone. Do not proceed if anyone else is in the elevator with you. 5. Press the button for the 4th floor. 6. When the elevator reaches the 4th floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 2nd floor. 7. When you reach the second floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 6th floor. 8. When you reach the 6th floor, do not get out. Instead, remain on the elevator and press the button for the 2nd floor. 9. When you reach the 2nd floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 10th floor. 10. When you reach the 10th floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 5th floor. 11. When you reach the 5th floor, a young woman may enter the elevator. Do not look at her. Do not speak to her. She is not what she seems. 12. Do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 1st floor. 13. At this point, one of two things will occur. The elevator will begin descending to the 1st floor, or it will begin ascending to the 10th floor. If the elevator descends, the ritual has failed. Do not proceed. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak. Exit the building and don't look back. You may try again another time. If the elevator ascends, the ritual has succeeded and you may proceed. Note, though, that if you are having any second thoughts about what you're about to do, if you find that you are losing your nerve, now is your last chance to back out. To cancel the ascension and terminate the ritual at this point, press the button for any floor in the building besides the 1st or 10th floor. You must cancel the ascension before the elevator passes the 9th floor in order to terminate the ritual. 14. When you reach the 10th floor, you may choose either to exit the elevator or to remain aboard. If you choose to exit, and if the woman entered the elevator on the 5th floor, she may take this opportunity to ask her where you are going. 15. Do not answer her. Do not look at her. 16. Exit the elevator without comment. 17. Now look around. Do not lose sight of the elevator in which you arrived. 18. You will, it said, find yourself in another world. 19. And although you may see things and notice many details, you will know you have arrived in this other world. You will know for certain by one indication and one indication only. The only person present in it is you. The return trip. The method by which you may return to your own world depends on your choices thus far. If you did not exit the elevator on the 10th floor, 1. Press the button for the 1st floor. The doors should close and the elevator should begin descending. If it does not, keep pressing the button for the 1st floor until it does. 2. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak. Leave the building and return home as soon as possible. If you choose to exit the elevator at the 10th floor, 1. Return to the elevator. You must use the same elevator to return as the one in which you arrived. 2. When you enter the elevator, press the button for the 4th floor. 3. You may now proceed to press the buttons and visit the floors of the building in the same order you did during steps 6 and 12 of venturing out. When you reach the 4th floor, press the button for the 2nd floor, etc., etc. 4. The elevator will again begin ascending to the 10th floor. You must now cancel the ascension before the elevator arrives to its final destination. To do so, press the button for any floor in the building besides the 1st or 10th floor. You must cancel the ascension before the elevator passes the 9th floor. 5. If you have correctly canceled the ascension, the elevator will descend to the 1st floor. When the elevator arrives and opens its doors, do not exit. Not just yet. Look outside and check your surroundings carefully. If anything seems off, even the smallest detail, do not exit the elevator. Instead, press the button for the 4th floor. Repeat the previous 4 steps and begin by pressing the button for the 4th floor and again checking your surroundings before exiting the elevator upon its return to the 1st floor. Once you are confident that you have returned to your own world, you may safely exit the elevator. 7. Repeat the previous 5 steps as many times as necessary. 8. Do not exit the elevator before you are absolutely certain that you have returned to your own world. Because it's almost like a one sentence. But 9 through 13. If you do and you are incorrect, well, you might as well get comfortable. It may be a while before you see your home again. You may, in fact, never see your home again. There is more information on this website. I realize I didn't mention to you guys what this source is. It's specifically theghostinmymachine.com. It's the reason why I wanted to give 2 different instructions is just because I don't speak Korean or Japanese, and that's where a lot of people think that those are the two countries that a lot of people think that this game has originated. So I had to look up translations. I mean, if you do speak Japanese or Korean and you have better translations than what I was able to find, please reach out to me and I will do like a correction. Depending on which translation you go to, it's either going to be kind of vague like the first one, or it's going to be more detailed. If you're anything like me, I feel like the more detailed route is the way to go, just because like even if you're not super duper detail oriented or get like really anxious if you don't have detailed instructions, going with the idea that this is like a real ritual, it's better safe than sorry, because again, assuming if you're going the route that this is a real thing, it's dangerous. You could be lost to this other world forever if you don't follow the rules exactly. Now, as far as like where it came from, as I mentioned, a lot of people think that it has come from Korea or Japan. However, it's not completely known, but at least I found the most information that Korea is where it did originate. And it kind of makes sense because this game was making its rounds right around 2011, which is just when the legend became, or at least started gaining popularity all over the world. But like especially in Korea. When you look at the Korean title, based on my sources, it says that like it usually gets translated into how to get into another world from an elevator. You know, that's kind of a mouthful, so it's shortened to the elevator game. It might not be a super accurate translation, but no matter how you look at it, it does get the point across. Other people think that it came from Japan, as I said. The biggest difference between the Japanese version versus the Korean version is that the Japanese version doesn't let you know what you are supposed to see in the other world or how to get back to your original world. In the Korean version, it's supposed to be very dark. You're the only person who's there, and you see this glowing red cross. But in the Japanese version, the only like similarity that I seem to be able to find is that you're going to be the only person there, but otherwise nothing really is said. Again, based on just like what I was able to find. Again, it's one of those things where it kind of makes sense that this urban legend potentially started in Japan and Korea, because the earliest like iteration, or at least the earliest mention of it I could find, was 2008. Right around in 2006, there were reports of elevators in Japan that would move on their own while the doors were still open, and the movement seemed like just like on their own accord, like on the elevator's own accord. In many occurrences, like no one pressed like, you know, the button for like the 5th floor or whatever. In one specific case, there was a 16-year-old who had unfortunately met her untimely end. While this was happening, she was unlucky enough to get onto one of these elevators and unfortunately died. After the investigation in this case, it was determined that a handful of specific elevators that were made in a certain time frame had the same or similar happenings. Maybe not necessarily with ending in death or anything like that, but just moving randomly. As I promised, I will mention the thing that I mentioned in the beginning, just kind of alluded to, but there is another famous case that is related to this ritual that kind of made the elevator game popular at least in the United States, and that's the case of Elisa Lam. I'm not going to go into depth in this episode, if ever, only because there are so many other people who have covered this case, and I feel like a lot of people have brought it up in ways that like would be so much better than I could ever bring it up. But I kind of get the feeling that if I didn't at least mention her name, someone would point it out. I do pre-record all of my episodes in advance, so between the time of me recording and this episode getting published, I will do my best to like find like podcasts or YouTube videos or like shows or anything like that have talked about this case, if you guys are really interested in learning more about Elisa Lam's case in general. I mean, but with that being said, if you believe this theory, she did play the game at the Cecil Hotel. It's now called the Stay on Main, I believe. I do plan on doing an episode about that hotel down the line, I don't know what episode it's gonna be, but I will be talking about it because there's just so much crazy shit that's happened at that hotel. Like, even Richard Ramirez stayed at the hotel the night soccer. So it's like a lot of stuff happened there. Last thing I'm gonna mention about this game is the fact that there are video games based on it. The most popular one that I was able to find was one from Steam. It is a virtual reality or VR game available that simulates the real game. So if you're like too scared to like legitimately try it, like going to this simulates the real game. If you are interested in trying it out and you have the equipment to try VR games, I will be linking the game in the description. I don't recommend you guys try this game in real life. I recommend, again, if you have the VR equipment, trying the VR game, because I feel like this could lead to like trespassing, and I don't want anyone to do that. So again, try this game or try to find other like kind of just like role-playing games that simulate this game. So I will see you guys next time. Again, please reach out to me if there's better translations out there, or if I missed anything, or with any suggestions for future episodes. I love taking them. And please be on the lookout for my Patreon. I am currently working on that. All my social media is linked in the show description. You can find me on Instagram at allthingscreepypod, Twitter at thingscreepypod, Tumblr at allthingscreepypod, or you can email me at allthingscreepypod@gmail.com. I will see you guys soon.